Out here again in constitutional coop from San Francisco, still on an extended trip out here in Iowa, and with things beginning to look a bit better in that regard. I'll talk more about that in other videos. This one is in reference to recent events with Donald Trump and fake electors and all that BS that's going on. And for openers, I can't believe his attorneys, who don't seem to know anything, allowed him to plead to the charges. That's not what you do. The Supreme Court says you have to challenge jurisdiction. And you can't enter a plea or be forced to enter a plea either, people, especially in traffic court, criminal court or whatever, because that's a stipulation to jurisdiction that they don't have and they can't get. The big case on that is Crain versus United States, 162 U.S. 625. And his attorneys don't know this? Of course, as we all know here, it probably doesn't matter jack because there isn't going to be any serious attempt made to prosecute any of these BS claims as far as I can see. But still, for the president's advisors not to know that. And I would have hoped that Trump himself might have been aware of it. Wow. But the fake electors, and for me, that's a really interesting situation because not only were there fake electors, my goodness, there were 570 of them, I think, if I got the number right here. Let's see, 438, 540. All of them are fake because what I can prove, and you can get my modestly priced constitutional defense document packet, and you'll learn all about this, is that there are no states remaining which were admitted into this union. Sovereign independent states. Accordingly, there is no state legislatures who could appoint electors, and delegate to them the authority to vote. And that's a major big deal here. Because without that, in effect, there's no president in office and hasn't been for a long time, which is true of all the other offices in government. They've been vacant too for want of qualified office holders. So this is the sort of thing you have to be aware of and make these arguments on paper. And I do that with attitude and with authority. With the documents I have put together here. And I've recently added a lot of information from Justice Joseph Story. Most of you don't know who he is, but the current justices on the court do know. He is the greatest expert on the Constitution then and now. Now, he wasn't there, during the events, participating at the time, but he was growing up when the Constitution was enacted and all that, so he had a real good understanding of it. And for this leading expert to be saying what he says in plain English, and you look at it and see where we are today, you have to ask yourself, how the hell did we get here? So anyway, that said, it'll be interesting to see what happens, but I think this is all, a lot of BS in order to try to keep Trump from getting the nomination, which I can't foresee any way that he doesn't. And who are the Democrats going to run? Sacramento Shamala Harris? Ain't Gavin Newsom? Who might not even win California. I mean, that's how bad it is out there. And a lot of people are starting to wake up here, and I'm glad to see that. And in the right to talk about right time, right place, with the Supreme Court acting like an Article 3 judicial court for the first time in 90 years. We have real opportunity here, and we have guys who are going into their 5th term in October of an all-out assault on the administrative state. And that's what most of you face every day with this damn government. Whether it's administrative agencies, the traffic court, family court, you name it, child procurement syndicate. All it is administrative BS, and these justices know it. And you'll learn from me with recent decisions, and the last big one was unanimous, where they ruled against it in no uncertain terms. And that's how we get our leverage, and that's how we stop these bastards. Because when we get there, they're going to have our backs. Maybe not on all of our issues right now as I would like, but I think it's going to go a lot faster when they return in October without much in the way of concern for the quote-unquote election coming up. So that way Alito and Thomas can safely retire, and they'll get two younger conservatives in there, and we're good for the next 12 to 15 years. What are the Democrats going to do about that now? So that's the real issue about fake electors. There were none in presence at any time here. And that's because there are no elections either, by the way. And you get my modestly priced constitutional defense document packet, send me an email, youwinincourt@gmail.com, and you'll find out that in my view, and I can state this with attitude and with authority, there hasn't been a lawful election since November 6, 1860. You can figure out what that means. And it's just how much trouble this de facto national socialist government is in. And it's long overdue to make an exit here and get out of our way and get our federated Republican form of government of defined and limited powers back in there with the original intent of the framers back in vogue like it used to be. It wasn't perfect. No one's saying it was. Only the best government ever invented. And if we get back to that point, we can make changes if we want to and do it the right way. That's a huge difference. And that's the main goal of all I do. And not that there isn't going to be a lot of money, and there is for those of you with some investment capital. The big deal is to make changes. And we ever get in front of a jury that I'm never going to see, they're going to understand we're there to make changes for them, their children, and their posterity. Or they have on the other side a handful of attorneys in $2,000 designer suits. Good luck with that. So that said, remember to subscribe, tell your friends, get the word out. Send me an email, youwinincourt@gmail.com for more information, and we will catch up with the next video. Thank you.